Hey, how y'all doing? Welcome to another video. We were actually going to be doing a deck profile talking about um, the clan selection volume 1 set, or set volume 1 or volume 2 set. That's going to be giving us jewel knights and stuff. Man, I really wanted to do a deck profile on it, but sadly enough, the servers on Tabletop Simulator were down, so I might either just do like a rough draft, something of that one, or something else. We'll see what happens. But in the meantime, we are going to give you a video talking about the meta at the moment. You know, set 13 is around the corner, 6 more days. So hey, why talk about a meta that's been around for six more days, right? The clans that we are getting next set are going to be Pale Moon, Great Nature, DI, which is going to be reversed Almon, so I'm kind of excited about that. With Great Nature, we'll be getting the introduction of Grade 4s, which is going to be Sylvest. We have Novell, which is a Grade 4, so we get some Kagura support, and we also have some Battle Sister support, and then we also have Esculpate, which is kind of sick. I can't wait. I really can't wait. I can't wait to see any of these. And also we have Pale Moon, which is going to be Lukie reversed. Mommy. But we're going to be taking a look at like what that meta potentially could look like in the future. Not just because JP already played it for us means that our meta is going to be the same. We tend to play a bit more Dragon Empire oriented clans. We still play more Eradicators, Murakumo, a whole lot of Murakumo. I tend to see a lot on the ladder as well. And those decks actually tend to perform pretty well. Really well too. So we're going to be taking this piece by piece, breaking it down, and taking a look at it. So first things first, we got Angel Feather. Angel Feather, with last set of support that we got for Angel Feather, the last couple of sets of support that we got for it, it's a struggle street deck that I feel. Like, unless you're playing just basically, if you're playing it the same way, like you would play Salome, which is basically limit break enabling, pushing yourself to 4th damage and forcing your opponent to kind of keep on guarding yourself with a crit, it feels okay to deal with. But the thing is, what Salome has is Blaster Blade, and Blaster Blade can retire rear guards that can allow you to push that crit, whereas sure, you get the extra multi-attack with Hernias, which gets plus, you know, depends if you run Zerakiel still, if you run Helm with Celestials, but it still feels like, in comparison to a whole lot of other clans that are doing similar things just as it, I feel it struggles and it falls a little bit short. It's good, it's okay, it can still pull off some wins if your opponent doesn't have any PGs or like adequate interceptors, or you tempo your resources efficiently, because you can also like proc your crit, push damage, force your PG out to your opponent's hand, and pass a turn and not do anything. That's something that Helm can do really easily. But outside of that, if you don't get those pieces, it's almost donezo for you. And now with Aquaforce. Unfortunately with Aquaforce though, I think it suffers from the same issues that Angel Feather suffers from, is that oftentimes it falls a little bit short, but it can close out games, and you do have Ripple to be able to pass to give yourself some card advantage, and Obvious allows you to close out games. You get like 5 swings potentially, and it's really nice. But sadly enough, I feel it also falls a little bit behind of a lot of different clans that can and will do very similar things. Alright, Bermuda Triangle. Bermuda Triangle suffers a lot of issues, the same thing as other clans do as well. It draws a whole bunch of cards, it attacks 3 times, and sadly enough, the meta more or less right now at the moment is if you can push 4 attacks to 5 attacks in a turn, you're doing alright. If you can't do that, you're in Struggle Street. So I think I'll also reserve this for Struggle Street as well. I like this clan a lot. You can pull off wins with this. You can pull off wins with it. You draw a whole lot of cards. I've been testing a whole bunch of like variants of Coral with the Brick Ride, with the Pacifica Brick Ride, and it's been really fun. But it can get 5 attacks, but like very specific situations too, and it's very piece reliant. So somebody was talking to in chat on twitch.tv/GGMrRogers. Hopefully I get to see you there one of these days, where we play Vanguard 0 and all forms of card games but it's very specific, and that's specific to Pacifica. And if you do play stand triggers, then maybe you can get some more pressure out. It's a struggle you can win, but it's more struggle street than anything else in comparison to a whole lot of other clans. But not saying that these can't win, right? Like, even if I do put these in like struggle street, that doesn't mean that they're like bad, like unbelievably bad, or you shouldn't play them at all. It just means that, oof, you gotta work hard for your wins. You gotta work harder for your wins than your opponent has to work for theirs, which sucks a lot. It sucks a whole lot. Then we have Dark Irregular. With the new support of Dark Irregular that's coming on the pipeline, and especially that you got Reiji as well as an alternate win condition, godlike. It's godlike. Until they nerf Reiji, until they nerf Reiji is gonna be up there, because it can actually damage deny your opponent. Not damage deny, yeah, you can more or less damage deny because you're forcing your opponent's PG to proc on 3. You push them to 3, and you just keep on swinging with Reggie for the rest of the game. And that's not fun for anybody. But hey, you know, it is what it is for now. They needed to make the deck a bit stronger. Dimensional Police, same issue as all of these as well. Sure, you're swinging with crit, but until we get Dai Kaiser, it's gonna take a while. Alright, now Grand Blue. With a new Goki reversed event that we got it. This is actually not bad. Not bad. It can struggle, but it can win. Because you have Thanatos that can actually push some damage. You get to draw cards. It launches like 4 attacks-ish. It depends on like what trigger ratios you play with stand triggers and stuff like that. I feel you can do some really nifty stuff. I think Thanatos carries the deck way more harder than anyone at the moment. Let's see. Gear Chronicles don't exist yet, so we'll move that out of the way for now. Let's see. We have Genesis. Yeah. I think Genesis is it's actually a pretty decent deck. I think it's slept on. Because you have Chamomile, and a lot of the Genesis cards actually prevent you from soul charging triggers. I think it's like you as the player, you need to play. You're basically playing against your deck rather than playing against your opponent. And if you soul charge at least like 2 Chamomiles and have like 2 attackers already, be they like grade 3s or whatever have you, you can actually launch like an insane amount of multi attacks, which feels really good to play against. So I think Genesis is actually pretty decent. You can pick up some wins off of people if they're not expecting it. Whether you want to run it with crits or draws and stuff, that's entirely up to you, but I do feel that they're really good. Let's see. And then we have Great Nature. Struggle Street. well, actually, no. Decent. We're also thinking of the support that's coming down the pipeline soon. This actually puts it in a decent tier as well. It might be higher here. I'll change these around depending on like what I feel that can still happen. But I still think this is pretty decent. Not like the best deck, but if your opponent doesn't pay attention to your damage or like gives you enough damage to kind of let you pop off, I feel it's pretty cool, because you're also getting like Shot Noir for the extra card draw. You don't need to play any draw triggers anymore with current with the coming Great Nature. That's gonna be pretty insane. Go Paladin, slept on. I think this is a decent deck. Slept on. All variants of Go Paladin I think is actually pretty good. It's pretty good. I like Go Paladin 0 at the moment. Kage Horo. Struggle but can win. You have Retirement. It's alright. You're getting Novelle. Novelle is funny. It's not that good. Struggle but you can win. Link Joker is pretty decent. It might be also a struggle but can win, but it's more decent because of course locking your opponent's stuff if they're not playing correctly against you. You're gonna be ping, you're gonna be punishing them, especially with Sword Shield, Infinite Zero, Nebula Dragon. You have a whole lot of tools to your disposal to keep your opponent out of commission. Alright, Mega Colony. Why? Why? Why do you do that to yourself? No. Murakumo. Pretty okay. Pretty alright. Struggle but can win. I put it higher than it's like close to Kagura. And then we put Grand Blue. No, put Aqua Force higher than Grand Blue. Because Aqua Force has like a guard restrict on it, which can close out the game. Nova Grapura. It relies on too much pieces. Struggle but can win. I think the issue that it has is that the pieces, you rely on too much pieces to finish out games. Narukami, decent deck. Still decent deck. Retiring your opponent's stuff is still pretty insane. Nupatama, we don't have Nupatama yet. Tachikaze, Struggle Street. You have like a bunch of decent multi-attacks and you can also hit for crits, but you're heavily piece reliant, and if your opponent damage denies you, if you play against anything else on the ladder, it's gonna be rough. It's gonna be super rough for you. Nia Nectar. Why? Why? It's still better than Mega Colony though. Oracle Think Tank. Battle Sisters, even with Battle Sister support comes out, still Struggle Street. Pale Moon, decent. Especially with the Lukia stuff. You still have the whole defensive play that you can do, but against Link Joker, you're gonna have a bad time. You're gonna have a bad time. For sure, it's still lower than Link Joker and a whole lot of other clans, like Narukami and stuff like that, especially with them still running the cards that they run. But you're still higher than a whole lot of other clans because you still have defensive options, which is nice. But now it gives you an offensive option with reverse. Let's see. Royal Paladin. We have Ashley. It's pretty good. Ashley, Salome and Ashley and stuff like that can still close out games. They're still pretty good. Spikes. I think Spikes is still pretty... I think Spike Brothers... Sleeper busted. I think personally Spikes is sleeper busted. Putting on 4 damage, you can just kill them. Like unironically. And Shadows. And Nubatama, we don't have it yet, but when we do get Nubatama eventually, Nubatama will probably be under decent or struggle but can win. They're somewhere here. And Gears, depending on what they give Gears, it could end up being godlike, but that's like years. That's almost half a year. Alright, so the reason I put like OTT this low, I guess, is like it's basically a Tom dot deck. But that's all it has going for it. Unless your name is Patrician Pat. Unless your name is Patrician Pat, then it's godlike. And like Tsukiyomi, if you play it, it's also still pretty godlike. But Tsukiyomi, like, you need to be playing Tsukiyomi. Like Tsukiyomi as a tournament deck, really good. Godlike. Could beat almost anything. But on ladder, it's so volatile. Everything can kill you almost instantly. It doesn't matter if you have PGs, you need to have multiple PGs to survive, that type of stuff. You need to like factor in the multiple things your opponent's clans is doing. It's gonna exhaust you playing it on ladder. But in a tournament, you have like only 8 hours you gotta play it, and that's it. That's it. But everything else, eh. And then Kagura is like a still struggle, but can win. Because everything else, like, everybody else is doing exactly what Kagura is doing. Shadows has a restand, Spike has a multi-attack, which also has like a sort of like, you know, card advantage engine. They also have their own con row, so they search for stuff. Darker regulars damage deny your opponent by blowing them out of the water, but... And then you have like Genesis with being decent as well. Go Paladin's higher than Link. I think it's like Link, Goals, Link, Goals, Naru, Great, Pale, Royal, and then Genesis, and then everything else here on the ladder. But yeah, I think this is kind of feels okay. And then Nubutama, when it comes out, it'll probably be around like decent or struggling but can struggle but can win. Yeah, and that's it. hope you guys like this. If you guys want to see me do more stuff like this, or like want my reasoning as to like why I chose these things that I did, just leave a question below. I might ask, like I might probably answer it in another video or something, or I might answer it on the bottom of the bottom of the video. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. So be awesome, stay awesome, guys. Have a wonderful day. Thank y'all for tuning in, stopping on by. This has been JJ. Have a good one. Let me sing forevermore. You are all I long for, all I worship and adore. In other words, please be true. In other words, I love you. In other words,